Welcome to part 4 of our powerful conversation with Melissa Thomson here on YouTube, part of the podcast Leading Our Own Way. Today we're exploring the delicate balance of personal growth and grief. Yes, we're going deep, like always. Melissa opens up about navigating life's biggest challenges while maintaining a professional momentum. That's really, really hard to do. What it is though, it's raw, it's real, and it might just be exactly what you need to hear today. And if it's not you, it might be somebody in your life, so please share away. New to the series though, please go and catch up with Monday and Tuesday to catch up, to get the full picture, I suppose. Anyway, here's Melissa Thomson for, and part 3, don't forget part 3. Yes, we're in part 4. Here's Melissa Thomson. Enjoy.
And I think that was a real eye-opener actually for education, being in London and experiencing and witnessing the teachers there who were just, it's almost like they'd completely given up. And I spent, there was this one little boy the one who arrived in the police car, and I just started getting there early and spending time in the morning with him. His reading level jumped like 3 levels in a week or something ridiculous, just having that focused time. Whereas in the classroom, there's just stuff flying everywhere. They don't care. They're kind of just babysitting. So anyway, that was really eye-opening, and I think lit a little spark in me around education and just how much things need to change, and what is the purpose of this, But I didn't know I'd do anything with that, because when I returned home, it was all about yoga and well-being, and it led into running retreats for women and having a yoga studio and coaching clients, and that was sort of my life and having my own children. And then through having my own children and taking them to this beautiful local play group that was Steiner inspired, and then everything in my soul just kind of started tingling, and I knew that was the next
step, something
that I had to be part of helping.
Yeah.
And then I wouldn't have known that it would have led to where it did.
Yeah. Well, that's the beautiful part of not trying to control the outcome, because if we stop trying to control the outcome, some amazing things can happen, right? We don't stay tunnel. Tunnel vision. We have the wider view, and that's how I look at it. That's actually what I said in my public speaking. I said, we've got to stop trying to control the outcome, because some amazing things can happen. And that's what happened right here with this platform. And I wouldn't be sat here with you if I hadn't have thought of that and stopped controlling the outcome of where I wanted to go, be a principal. My first purpose was to always help. I wanted to get to a point where I could help principals be good principals. Mm-hmm. That started from the point I wanted to start teaching, and I knew the route. But again, that's that tunnel vision, right? The route. I knew the route and I was just going down it. But when I was on that train track, I got knocked off 3-4 times. I was tired of getting back up again, so I had to go off it and create some other tracks. So the original plan isn't there anymore. I don't want to be a principal. I don't want to be I do want to be a teacher, but not full time. But going back to you, I want to go back to the relationship part, because you said you had a beautiful childhood. You had such a problem with trying to understand how other people could be mean, sad, take advantage of their authority. But you mentioned you got into a relationship quite young and ventured into business with that person. How long within that relationship did it then become toxic? Because I'm trying to put the pieces together of, did you know when it was toxic? And why did you stay in it knowing that you've all got these values behind you already?
Mm-hmm. Because I was young, Andy. You don't, it's different, isn't it? We're different.
And in love.
Consciousness and mind frame. Yeah. We met when I was only just 16, and he was a little bit older than me.
Yeah.
And saw a niche for business, I guess. And so also your memory changes. I'm aware of that too, right? We don't actually, our memory is very plastic. And so my experience and what I took away from that was, what I took into my next relationships was a lot of jealousy, a lot of learned, if my partner would be looking. So for example, if we'd been driving in a car and I looked out the window and there was a man walking past, I'd be called a slut, or like it was a horrible.
What for looking?
For looking out the window. And then if there was, so it was a learned, I guess, I didn't even really want to talk too much about this, but anyway, it was just a learned
And you don't have to, Mel. I
way
was
of
only
operating.
no,
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
yeah, don't. I
that's
was.
fine.
It's more about the values. You don't have to go into detail. It's just more trying to
Values, yes.
understand it.
I think because when you're 16, 17, you don't, like, you're still getting to know who you are.
Yeah,
There's not really a concept of values, I don't think, at that age. I mean, maybe there is now with all of the talk about emotions and reflecting explicitly,
yeah,
but when that's not learned explicitly and you just know that hurts, that doesn't feel good, but I love him.
yes, yeah,
I'm a romantic and I'll believe in the best in people too, and I want to see the good in them and that
yeah,
hope and that potential, or you see their light,
yeah,
and so then you make allowances for the dark. And we were on, like, yeah, just different paths, different people. I can look now and say, I'm so grateful for that relationship, though. I learned so much about business. I got to help start and run books for a business. We had staff working for us. We had, whilst I was still in year 12, finishing year 12, and then straight out of school, we're living together and, continuing down that route.
yeah.
But yeah, there was, I guess it got to a certain point by the time I was around 19 where I realized, and I woke up a little bit more to, this is not what I want and this is not where I want to go.
Yeah.
And life just did a full pivot.
Yeah.
So,
And we asked that because I know my audience, a lot of my audience, and a lot of the topics that come up in our guests is relationships, whether it's toxic, whether it's positive, whether it's the flip side where they were left. And it's been a learning lesson. And I want the viewers to understand, take away from you that the pieces and the value in that relationship still, and where it's sent you in the direction, the trajectory. That's why we touch on that type of thing. Definitely don't want to defame any, but don't have to go into details. More about the connection of your upbringing and understanding that relationship at such a young age, and then where it kind of took you into that track. That's the only reason why I brought that up. I knew you didn't want to go into that, and I didn't certainly expect you to.
No, but it's a good segue into and just touching on that, it is a vulnerable space, though, isn't it? When you're sharing your stories, you're sharing other people's stories too. So it's a delicate, and
Totally.
I am grateful. There are lots of good times, of beautiful experiences as well, and I learned so much from it. But essentially, it was like life was going in one direction. And, we were about to buy a Domino's pizza store in Maroubra in Sydney and move there. And my life was sort of moving in that direction. And yet when I came back, it's almost like that was the track it was going down. And then when I came back to that little crossroad at 19, nearly 20 years old, and went in the other direction of personal development and launching into that space, there was TV presenting, there were TV commercials, there was, fun, excitement, fitness, health. And it was just this whole other world that opened up that was more aligned with me and who I am and felt good and positive. And so sometimes I think now what that translates to in life, when I look back over those experiences and those crossroads or how things change, I'm reminded regularly of the power of taking action. So there's so much power in tapping into, connecting into who we are, obviously, and letting that guide us always in our actions rather than our head, always doing the planning. And mind's this beautiful tool for creating what our heart knows within us we need or want to do, what excites our heart. But the mind's become, completely overused, and to the point where the heart is overlooked and forgotten in our modern day world.
Yeah.
And that's what people are learning to do more now. But when that is hard to connect into the heart space and really know and move from that place, there is so much power still in taking action in one direction, because you can't really get it wrong. When you start to go in one direction, it will quickly be revealed to you if that's the path or not, right? And so I know for me and for other people that I've worked with, it's, you can feel quite blocked or stagnant or stuck and, get caught in indecision and caught in, is this the right thing? And how do I know? And it's uncertain. But when we can move past that and just take action towards something, any direction, if you're really stuck, straight away, oh no, it's not that, it's this way. So That's
Yeah,
been nice to reflect on over the years.
yeah, absolutely. As a general thing, then, do you think I have my view on this, but when it comes to connection as the way we connect now, do you see an all-time low in human connection? What if that makes? I
Mm.
feel like human connection is. I did a reel on this the other day, not on my other social media, just on TikTok because I'm trying to experiment on there. I'm trying to get the algorithm right. I'm just totally getting it wrong. But
Oh,
I've realized I need to be a little bit more authentic and not just snippets of me, but just me talking and being me, right? And they seem to
yeah.
get better views for some reason. I'm like, don't want to do that. But I did one where I was walking and I was walking my dog, and I see a lot of people when I'm walking. But what I've noticed over the last X amount of years is people don't, and this is baseline level, people just don't look at you anymore. They don't say hi. They don't even look up. I pause my earpods if I'm listening to a podcast or whatever, I'm on the phone. I'll pause it, take it out, just to acknowledge that person, put it back in and continue. Don't have to stop, don't have to have a conversation, just to acknowledge. And the amount of people, when I do that, don't even bother to look to see if I'm going to do that. That's just an example, and then I take everything else on board that I see on a daily basis too. That's the bottom for me. I just think human connection is really quite sad. People don't respond, answer phone calls anymore. Maybe I should just take a hint. Nobody wants to speak to me, but but that's what I'm noticing. What's your view
Okay.
on it?
Right. I'm curious when you say anymore, is that a change in the location? You've been in the same location for a while and that's something you've witnessed change over time?
Well, I've moved from England to here. I've always been an energetic person. It's always been a running joke that I'm a talkative soul. I will, for example, on my 30th, I had flying lessons. People would say, I'm surprised the pilot's not coming to your birthday. Well, 5 minutes later, he turned up. So this person who bought me this mic, I met on a flight to New York, and people would say, you're a sort of person that would get invited, meet somebody in a plane and go to their wedding.
Yeah.
Went to her wedding, and I met her on a flight to New York in 2001. So there's some examples of
Yeah.
running jokes, and I know some people don't answer my phone calls because they think they're going to be on the phone for an hour. So they have to rely just on text messages. So I felt like it was me coming to Australia, but that's probably harsh to say. I don't think everyone in Australia is not willing to talk. Then I've moved to the side of the bay where I built my house. I don't see much. I don't know. I used to go to the dog park and speak to loads of people in the dog park, so that was great, but don't really have that dog park anymore. But it's not just the dog. I'm just saying that's my observation of it. I could be very wrong.
Have
But
you
I'm a
noticed a
very
change though in the same location that you're in general, like just in that space near your home, in that
No, I feel
community?
like it's been like that since I moved here 6 years
Okay.
ago. So I feel like it's been like that
Yeah.
even before, because people blame COVID, but during COVID, I never saw the ovals more full. They were full with people exercising during COVID, and then
Mm.
now we're allowed out. No one's out,
Yeah.
but when we had to stay inside, everyone wanted to be outside.
S-
Bizarre.
I know that here, well, that's what I love about living here. I'm in Agnes Water and it's a tiny community and it's truly, I mean, even in Brisbane, before Brisbane got busy, I remember people, yeah, connecting and saying hello. I think with busyness comes disconnection,
Yeah,
with more, earphones in ears, everybody listening probably to podcasts as they're walking around or music,
they can
there's
pause
that
it though.
disconnect. They're less likely to do what you do. That's really lovely.
Yeah,
But I know here in my town, in this community, it's a community where you cannot go to the shop for 5 minutes. It takes an hour and a half because you talk to everybody. You'd love it, Annie.
oh, I would. I bloody would.
Be in
Yeah,
heaven.
yeah.
There's smiles, and I think that that's a really kind of beautiful community. Typical, mostly,
I'm
yeah.
going to check the rental properties there.
No, it's really gorgeous, and it's the first place I've really felt that sense of true community. But I'm much like you. I always look at people when I walk past and say hello. My kids said recently, Mum, why do you do that in the city? It's a bit embarrassing. They don't want to say
Yeah,
hi to you. I'm like, no, we're humans. Say hi.
it's called human connection, everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know.
And people love it. You chat to them in the elevator, when you strike up a conversation with someone or smile at them, more often than not, if they've got the opportunity, they'll respond, and it actually lights them up a little bit. It makes their day, and there can be a bit of humor or something exchanged. So I
Totally.
think it's always worth trying.
I completely agree. Completely agree.
But as far as what's going on in the world as a baseline, not sure, because I feel like more and more people are waking up, but there's definitely a lot of anger in the world with what's been going on.
Fear.
Fear. Yeah. So,
Fear's big, isn't it?
yeah. But at the same
Huge.
time, I feel like there's a lot of people rising up. There's more than ever. There's more people doing, yoga and meditation and personal mindfulness and self-development practices than ever, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah. So how do you set yourself up before we come to the end then? So how do you set yourself up? How do you have a calming presence for the day to, I suppose, have a great day? Because morning routines actually comes up on this podcast quite a lot. And obviously your centered approach to everything, you must do something. Join us tomorrow to hear more from today's incredible guests and learn valuable insights to help you lead your own way. Don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you then.